Friendly MOAB incoming.
Hey guys and girls, Kirsty here with part 2 of the MOAB tutorial, although this is going to be a bit more of a casual chat or a guide or whatever you want to call it, because I've covered more of the important parts and more of the technical parts in part 1 of the tutorial, which I will leave in the description, and I'll leave an annotation for any of you guys who haven't seen it and want to check it out, because that's a far more in-depth version of how to get MOABs and things like that. But I spoke about a support strategy in this video, and I thought that I'd show you guys how it works and just demonstrate that it does actually work. As you'll see, I'm playing with my friend Daniel here, who we were running support for each other, just one was playing one game and one was doing the other. We only did it for a couple of games, and there were quite a lot of successful MOABs being dropped. And before I go any further, like I said, I'm playing with this guy Daniel, who he's new to YouTube, and it's not a great time to be getting started on YouTube, and he is an absolute beast. And you need to check out his channel and subscribe to him, because he's going to have some more wicked content coming in future, because this guy can play, you know. I've always got respect for someone who's quite good at the game, and Daniel definitely is. So I know I talk about a few people on this channel, but if you actually visit any of them, this is the one to visit. So now I've said that, let's actually get back to the strategy. As you'll see, everyone's loving my little ballistic vests being dropped around. For some reason, every time I think of those vests, I get that Simpsons episode in my head, you know, with Mr. Burns and that See My Vest song. I don't know, it just makes me laugh. And I don't know if anyone else is like that, probably not, because I'm just a total dork. But that's okay. So, now that I'm just rambling, I think I better actually get back to the topic at hand, which is the support strategy. As you'll see, I'm running just 2 kill streaks, which is the UAV and the ballistic vest. The reason why I'm running just those 2 things is because Infinity Ward decided to make the kill streaks cycle in 1 life, which I absolutely adore. So I'm going to take advantage of that by just running 2. So I have a UAV and a ballistic vest at most times in this game, and this could actually be helpful for you guys who are actually trying to get a MOAB. This strategy really works 2 ways. You can either help someone else get a MOAB, or you can get one for yourself. Some people just don't function that well on Specialist and get a little bit shaky when they've got all the proficiencies and get all nervous, you know what I mean? And having a ballistic vest can often be really useful. Same as having a UAV. Because I don't know how much you guys know about the ballistic vest, but you can use 1 in each life that's put down by each player. So if you have a large party, which probably isn't that advisable if you're going for your first MOAB, because they'll probably take all the kills on you. But if you do have a large enough party, if you have a couple of people running ballistic vests, then you can actually grab multiple in 1 life, which is pretty beneficial. Well, not so much multiple in 1 life. See how I can grab more than 1 of my own, but I can only grab 1 out of each particular duffel bag, if that's what you want to call it. And wow, these vests are so useful. You'll see a couple of times in this gameplay I get grenaded and I don't end up even damaged at all, or I get shot in the back and manage to turn on the guy, which probably wouldn't happen if I was running Specialist. See what I mean? I got quite damaged by that guy there, but it's barely even made my character red. So if I didn't have that vest on, I probably would have died. So this is why I say this also could be a good strategy for you guys trying to get your first MOAB. Because honestly guys, I don't know about you guys, but when I run support, I just don't stress about anything. I don't stress about my KD. I just run around and play the objective and have fun. And I don't know, there's just something about that that's a little less nerve-wracking than playing Specialist, actually trying for that MOAB. Because if you guys have listened to my videos in the past, which I'm pretty sure you might have caught 1 or 2 by this point, you'll notice that one thing I say all the time is that a really important part of getting MOABs is actually you and your thought processes. Things like that. There's a huge mental part to getting MOABs. Sure, you've got to have reasonable knowledge of the game and reasonable gun skill, but a big part is just being confident but not too confident, knowing your own capabilities and limits, and not overthinking it. If you're a decent enough player to get close to a MOAB, well, you can do the rest of it if you don't then destroy your own game, which happens a lot. So with that being said, some of you guys might actually do better with this strategy than what you do with Specialist. So if you haven't given it a go yet, I really suggest getting a couple of friends and either having them run support and you run Specialist, or you run support for some of them and just see what happens. Because I haven't been going for MOABs when I run this support strategy, but for some reason I just keep getting them. And I really think a main part of that success is the ballistic vest. And being able to control when they're dropped is just amazing, because I can hold on to a set and then get the next set. It's pretty powerful. And these things, they really have the ability to win gunfights. Have you ever played against a whole enemy team all running these things? Especially in a ground war or something. It becomes really annoying. It's almost as if a whole team's running Final Stand, with all the bullets that you end up having to waste to put into these guys. So when you have multiple people running these vests, they're really useful. So that's probably what makes this strategy so good. And another thing that makes this strategy so awesome is that it's not really dependent on what gun or what perks or anything like that. You can just do what you're comfortable with, which is always ideal. So as I was just saying, guys, the brilliant thing about this strategy is that you can use whatever gun, whatever perk, whatever anything that you like, really, whatever you're comfortable with, and you've still got a good chance of it working out. It really depends though what you're doing, if you're actually actively trying to get a MOAB. If you're in that category, I do suggest running something like an ACR, something that reloads quite quickly without sleight of hand. Because it is ideal to use Scavenger when going for these things, because you don't want to end up having to pick up someone else's gun and find out they've got like a dodgy thermal sight attachment. So I do try and stick to guns like the ACR that I feel reloads relatively quickly. When I run other things like the MP7, I do tend to run sleight of hand on it more often, or extended mags. But even with the ACR, I must admit I do like the two attachments, extended mags and silencer, and scavenger as well. See what I mean about these ballistic vests? They just save me time and time again. And back to what I was saying, if you're doing this for a friend, just run whatever, you know? It doesn't really matter, you're going to keep getting those UAVs and ballistic vests, so just keep pumping it out. Anyway guys, that's the end of this gameplay and this informal little chat, so I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye!